गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन् ऊतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ॐ महागणपतये नमः। ॐ मेधादेवी जुषमाना न आगात् विश्वाचिर्भद्रासुमनस्यमाना त्वया जुष्टानुदमाना दुरुक्तान् बृहद्वदेम विदथे सुवीराः। त्वया जुष्टऋषिर्भवति देवी त्वया ब्रह्मा गतश्रीरुतत्वया त्वया जुष्टश्चित्रं विन्दते वसुसानो जुषस्वद्रविणो न मेधे। मेधां म इन्द्रो ददातु मेधां देवी सरस्वती। मेधां मे अश्विना वुभा वा धत्तां पुष्करस्रजा। अप्सरासु च या मेधा गन्धर्वेषु च यन्मनः। दैवी ईं मेधा सरस्वती सा मां मेधासुरभिर्जुषताम्। आमा आं मेधासुरभिर्विश्वरूपा हिरण्यवर्णा जगती जगम्या। ऊर्जस्वती पयसा पिन्वमाना सा मां मेधा सुप्रतीका जुषन्ताम्। मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि अग्निस्तेजो दधातु मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि इन्द्र इन्द्रियं दधातु मयि मेधां मयि प्रजां मयि सूर्यो भ्राजो दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो।
ॐ ब्रह्मादिभ्यो
ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो
ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो
वंशर्षिभ्यो महद्भ्यो
वंशर्षिभ्यो महद्भ्यो
नमो गुरुभ्यः।
नमो गुरुभ्यः।
सर्वोपप्लवरहितः
सर्वोपप्लवरहितः
प्रज्ञानघनः
प्रज्ञानघनः
प्रत्यगर्थः
प्रत्यगर्थः
ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि
ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि।
ॐ नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठम्
ॐ नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं
शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च
शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च
व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तम्
व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तम्
गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यम्
गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यम्
श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च
श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च
हस्तामलकं च शिष्यम्
हस्तामलकं च शिष्यम्
तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यानस्मद्गुरून्
तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यानस्मद्गुरून्
सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि
सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि
श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम्
श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम्
नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्
नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्
शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम्
शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणम्
सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः
सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः
ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने
ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने
व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः
व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः
अशुभानि निराचष्टे तनोति शुभसन्ततिम्
अशुभानि निराचष्टे तनोति शुभसन्ततिम्
स्मृतिमात्रेण यत्पुंसां ब्रह्म तन्मङ्गलं परम्
स्मृतिमात्रेण यत्पुंसां ब्रह्म तन्मङ्गलं परम्
अतिकल्याणरूपत्वात् नित्यकल्याणसंश्रयात्
अतिकल्याणरूपत्वात् नित्यकल्याणसंश्रयात्
स्मर्तॄणां वरदत्वाच्च ब्रह्म तन्मङ्गलं विदुः
स्मर्तॄणां वरदत्वाच्च ब्रह्म तन्मङ्गलं विदुः
ओङ्कारश्चाथ शब्दश्च द्वावेतौ ब्रह्मणः पुरा
ओङ्कारश्चाथ शब्दश्च द्वावेतौ ब्रह्मणः पुरा
कण्ठं भित्त्वा विनिर्यातौ तस्मान्माङ्गलिकावुभौ
कण्ठं भित्त्वा विनिर्यातौ तस्मान्माङ्गलिकावुभौ
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 ॐ अथ ॐ अथ ॐ अथ
ॐ अथ ॐ अथ ॐ अथ
यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः
यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः
व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान्नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्
व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान्नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः
So this was our opening namaskara to the entire Guru lineage. This namaskara prayers is seen very much in traditional teachings in the mathams, and this is how we begin the traditional studies. Any beginning of studies in the Indian literature begins with what we call a Mangala Charanam. Mangala Charanam. An auspicious beginning. Whether it is a literary tradition, whether it is a music tradition, whether it is dance, whether any form of knowledge begins with some Mangala Charanam, something which marks an auspicious beginning. And here Bhagavad Gita, as we know, is in this great historical poem Mahabharata, which has 100,000 verses. In these 100,000 verses, Bhagavad Gita is what? Only 700 verses. But we call Gita the jewel of Mahabharata, the prana Shakti of Mahabharata. And so, Mahabharata itself has its own Mangala Charanam. And Mahabharata's Mangala Charanam is Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. So, Jayam Udirayet, one must study Jayam. Jayam means victory. Mahabharata is called a victory Shastram, Jaya Shastram. Everyone in their lifetime must study this Shastra, this scripture that brings victory to life. And therefore the very Mahabharata is called Jaya Shastram. And so this is when you study, you must always do namaskara to the deities. Who are they? Narayanam Namaskritya. So having done namaskara to Narayana, Lord Mahavishnu, Naram Chaiva Narottamam, and doing namaskara to the most exalted of the people, Lord Krishna himself, who was born as the most exalted of a human being, a most exalted human being. And of course, Devi, Saraswati Devi, the goddess of knowledge, and sage Vyasa, who gave us this wonderful work called Mahabharata. So, Namaskritya, having done namaskara to all of them, one must study the Jaya Shastram. So this itself is a auspicious beginning for Mahabharata. And Bhagavad Gita being within Mahabharata, so it did not need a separate Mangala Charanam, it did not need a separate auspicious, because it's integrated into Mahabharata. But still, as a respect to Bhagavad Gita, as the Veda itself, we have this great scholar, saint, Sri Madhusudana Saraswati in the 16th, 17th centuries, and he wrote this Gita Dhyana Shlokas, 9 of them, which we always recite as a contemplative verses, remembering all the sage Vyasa, goddess Saraswati, Lord Krishna, Gita as mother goddess, all these, plus all those who were in the who played different scripts in Mahabharata. So there is a remembrance of all of them in the Gita Dhyana Shlokas. So if you don't know what that is, if I recite, maybe you'll remember. It begins like this. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashadhyayini Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshini. So it begins from there. That's only the first verse. And that set of 9 verses, beautiful verses given to us by Madhusudana Saraswati, forms the Bhagavad Gita's Dhyana Shloka. The Gita itself, in the Chandas Shastram, in the science of Chandas called prosody, we have what we call these Gana. There are 6 Ganas that help you define the meter of the how a meter is gauged. And the meter is gauged based on the letters, how many letters are there, and a heavy letter and a light letter. So we have light letter called Laghu, heavy letter called Guru. So this Laghu, Guru combinations are there, and based on that, with the number of syllables, in the tradition, the science of prosody or metrical system, in other words, Chandas Shastram, defines the 6 different Ganas. So it is very involved. But the Gana which is considered the auspicious Gana in poetry of those 6 is called Magana. Magana. It is called Magana, and there is a combination of how they decide what is a Magana. And so in Anushtup meter it begins, and so that is also called auspicious. So the Bhagavad Gita begins with the Magana, which is the auspicious meter. These are all subtle, very, very subtle elements of how that your studies must have an auspicious beginning with the blessings of the gods, so that it comes into our life and does what it needs to be done for human living. And also this very first word in Bhagavad Gita, which is the first word, Dhritarashtra Uvacha, correct? And we always curse this Dhritarashtra, why was he born this, what a mess he created. It all started with him, and so on and so forth. But this word Dhritarashtra itself means Dhritam Rashtram Jagad Rupam Yena Saha Dhritarashtraha. So Dhritarashtra is a word which can also mean Ishwaraha, the Lord. It all begins with the blessings of Bhagavan. So Dhritarashtraha word itself means Dhritam. Dhritam means sustain, the sustainer, upholder. Dhritam Rashtram. The one, Yena, by whom, Rashtram is the land, the nation, by whom the nation is upheld. Dhritam Rashtram Yena. So what is Rashtram? Generally Rashtram is the mass of land, which is referred to, we refer to Rashtram as nation, but it is Jagad Rupam, the mass of that land that is upheld is the very universe. Who is the one who is upholding the universe? None other than Lord Himself. So Dhritam, Rashtram, Jagat Rupam. Jagat Rupam, Rashtram, Dhritam, Yena, passive. I mean, it's like a passive, by whom the Rashtra in the form of creation is upheld. That Ishvaraha. So Dhritarashtra also refers to Ishvaraha or Bhagwan. And so these are all indications of the beginnings of Bhagavad Gita itself has, in its own silent ways, very wonderful, auspicious beginning. And generally in the tradition, a Mangalacharanam is of three types. Okay, the auspicious, how do you indicate an auspicious beginning? Three ways you can do it. The first words can either be Namaskara Rupa, of the form of salutation, like you saw the Mahabharata one which I just recited. That was Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. So Narayanam Namaskritya, Namaskara Rupa, a Mangalacharanam, an auspicious beginning. If somebody has made, you will recognize it when there is a author does Namaskara, salutation. So like in the Western world, we always see this dedicated to my beloved parents, or dedicated to, we always dedicate our writings to somebody. So here it is Namaskara to the gods. That is one way. Another way of doing a Mangalacharanam in tradition is Ashirvada Rupa, in the form of blessing, in the form of blessing. And the third type is Tattva Anusmarana Rupa. Tattvanusmarana Rupa means, third type is remembering the truth. In your very writing itself, in your very Mangalacharanam itself, you mention the truth of the universe. And which one do you think Adi Shankara used to start his Bhashyam on Bhagavad Gita? He definitely was going to start with a Bhashyam, with a Mangalacharanam. Which of the three types you think he has used? The third one, you're right, Ravi. He only sees one thing. And so Adi Shankaracharya uses the third type for his Mangalacharanam. And so as we say, somebody asks, why do you need a Mangalacharanam? What for? Well, Pratibandha Upashamanam, for the sake of removing any obstacle to our study. So, Ammaji, I can attend one class, Ammaji, I can't attend second class, Ammaji. Then suddenly listening to all this, Ammaji herself says, I cannot teach the fifth class. So what will happen? So all these obstacles, so many things come and pull us away. So may that not happen. So Mangalacharanam is required for Pratibandha Upashamanam, for just dropping all these obstacles. And then secondly, Shishya Grahanam, the most important thing. I seek an auspicious beginning so that whatever I study doesn't go over my head, So Shishya Grahanam, it's all meant for the student. And the student is blinking the eyes, every word looks the same. Then what's the point of this study? And therefore let that not happen. Shishya Grahanam. And the third purpose is Eka Rupata. Eka Rupata between Veda and the Bhagavad Gita. You must never think that Gita is not Veda. Of course, Gita is not Veda. Gita came 5,000 years ago, Veda came thousands of years ago. Of course, Gita is not Veda. Well, maybe in words it is not Veda, but in truth it is nothing less than the Veda. And so to show Eka Rupata, to show the sanctity, as much sanctity to the Gita as we give to the Upanishads, as we give to the Veda, this Mangala Charanam is showing the sacred, auspicious beginning here. And so, with this few words, let us see what is the Mangala Charanam of Bhashyakara. I'm going to call him Bhashyakara. By Bhashyakara is more intimate, Otherwise, Adi Shankaracharya, it's like, where is the intimacy here? You keep on calling me Swami Pramananda. You have to come to Ammaji at some point, right? So that intimacy, Bhashyakara. So Bhashyam Karoti Yaha, the one who does Bhashyam. So Upapada Tatpurusha Samasa, this is Bhashyakara. Bhashyam Karoti iti Bhashyakara. The one who does Bhashyam, he is Bhashyakara, and let us see what is his Mangala Charanam. So I will recite and you will recite after me. Narayanah Paro Vyaktat
Narayanah Paro Vyaktat
Andamavyakta Sambhavam
Andamavyakta Sambhavam
Andasyantastvi lokaha
Andasyantasvi me lokaha
Saptadvipa cha medini.
Saptadvipa cha medini.
So here Bhashyakara, everything he wants to say about Vedanta, he has said it here. So that this is him, he can go very cryptic or he can keep on dilating. Either he will declare Ardha Shlokena Pravakshyami Yaduktam Grantha Koti Bihi Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. What? He says, in half a verse I will tell you what has been said in thousands of scriptures. I will tell you in half a verse. In saying that, half the verse is over. And then the second half he has left, in which he says, Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Brahman is Satyam, the truth. The Jagat, the name and form world is Mithya, apparent. And the third statement there is no difference between the individual and the total. Jivo Brahmaiva na paraha, na aparaha. Both are one. Look at that. In half a verse he finishes his statement. Then he gives us a Eka Shloki, another text. In Eka Shloki, in one verse he teaches the whole text. Then maybe he realized that we need little more elaboration. Then he goes to Dasha Shloki, 10 verses. Then he thought, I think these people need some more assimilating time, grasping time. So he gave a Shata Shloki, 100 verse text. Then finally he said, I think I have to sit down and do some really, humanity may need more details. And he gave us Upadesha Sahasri, 1,000 verse text. So here is a Bhashyakara from half a verse to 1,000 verse he can go, along with the Brahma Sutra Bhashyam, the Upanishad Bhashyam, the Bhagavad Gita Bhashyam. He kept on going. Maybe he thought we will take a whole lifetime to learn, And so we have been given enough and more gems to be able to study, to enjoy, to grasp, to revel. Well, here let us see what he has to say as his Mangala Charanam. And here he says, Narayanaha Paraha, nominative singular. Narayanaha Paraha, he is the most exalted. Narayana, the Lord, is Paraha. And when you say Paraha, most exalted, exalted with reference to what? What is that which is less exalted? So it is exalted with reference to what? Avyaktat Paraha. With reference to Avyakta, with reference to Avyakta means Maya Karanam, Maya, with reference to Maya, because she is the second cause. Always remember, you have consciousness plus matter. The cause is always referred to in terms of two. Nimitta Karanam, Upadana Karanam. The intelligent cause and the material cause. And in two of them, the consciousness is the independent cause. Between the two, one is dependent on the other. The question is consciousness dependent on matter, or is matter dependent on consciousness? Or are both independent? Are there two independent causes? No. In Advaita Vedanta, no. We are not going into those metaphysics yet. So right now here what we need is, there are two causes, and in which one is independent, the other is a dependent cause. Therefore the independent cause is Paraha, is higher, and the dependent cause is Avyakta, in other words Maya Karanam. And so the dependent cause is less than the intelligent cause, the consciousness. And so Narayanaha Avyaktat Paraha. Narayanaha Avyaktat Paraha. And then what? Then the next statement is, he says, Andam Avyakta Sambhavam. He says, less than this cause, So you have Narayana, which is the most exalted. Then you have less exalted is this Avyakta, the material cause or Maya, right? Cause. Below this is what? Less is what? Less is the very effect. The very effect. What is the effect? The universe. What comes out? And therefore, Andam. Andam means, they call it an egg. We mean Brahmandam. Brahmandam, the entire manifest universe. So we talk about cause and effect. The twofold cause, Paraha and Avyakta, and then the effect. Effect is coming from where? Avyakta Sambhavam Andam. Andam is qualified by the compound word Avyakta Sambhavam. that is also nominative singular, neuter. Andam is nominative singular neuter. Avyakta Sambhavam is also nominative singular neuter. And so, Andam is what? Avyaktat Sambhavaha Yasya. That which has coming into being from Avyakta. That which comes into being from the material cause. Okay? What is that? Brahmandam. So, Andam is the word Brahmandam, which is qualified by another word, Avyakta Sambhavam. But because Avyakta Sambhavam is a compound word, it has two words. What does it mean? That compound word means Avyaktat Sambhavaha Yasya. Tam. Andam. So, the coming into being from Avyakta is there for which universe? That universe is Andam. You understand? This is called precise Sanskritam translation. That which has the coming into being from Avyakta. Avyaktat Sambhavaha Yasya. Tat. That is Andam. That is the Andam. In other words, Brahmandam. So understand, now you have Narayana, then you have Avyakta, then you have Andam, and then what? Andasyantastvi lokaha. What's happening here? Now, in this universe, what is inside this whole universe? Well, andasya antaha. Inside the anda. Inside the anda, what is there? Ime lokaha. These worlds. So many worlds are there inside this universe. And we talk in our tradition, we talk about 14 worlds. So my guru used to say 7 up and 7 down. So bhuhu bhuvaha suvaha maha janaha tapaha satyam atala vitala sutala rasatala talatala mahatala patala. Okay, so 7 plus 7. So 14 worlds above, 14 worlds below. So ime lokaha and cha, Bhashyakara has added there, cha Medini. Medini is a beautiful word for Mother Earth. And what do you mean Mother Earth? What is this earth? Sapta Dvipa Medini, feminine word, and therefore Dvipa, Sapta Dvipa, 7 islands. Earth which is made up of 7 islands or 7 continents. Alright? And so here, this is Bhashyakara's way of what? Doing Mangalacharanam. So you're ready for what more is going to come next? So, very beautiful. He presents the entire picture from cause to effect. So, one more time. Narayanaha avyaktat paraha. Statement number 1. Narayanaha avyaktat paraha. Narayana is the most exalted, greater than the avyakta, the unmanifest cause called Maya. And Andam avyakta sambhavam. And the Brahmanda is born from this avyakta. Avyakta Sambhavam. And then, what is inside this Andam? Andasya Antaha Tu. Tvame is Tu Ime. Tu Ime. Indeed, inside this Brahmanda is Ime Lokaha. Ime. Ayam Imau Ime. These worlds. Plural. These worlds. How many of them? 14. And what else is there? Medini, earth, which is made of 7 continents. And having given his auspicious beginning, now we begin the Bhashyam. So kindly recite after me. Sab Bhagavan
Bhagavan
Srishtva idam jagat
Rishtva idam jagat
tasya cha sthitim chikirshuhu
Tasya cha sthitim chikirshuhu
Maricyadin agre srishtva prajapatin
Maricyadin agre srishtva prajapatin
pravritti lakshanam dharmam
Pravritti lakshanam dharmam
grahaya masa vedoktam.
Grahayamasa vedoktam.
So here is one sentence, okay? Just because it comes in 3 lines doesn't mean it's 3 sentences. It is just one sentence. So now comes Antoine lesson number 23, 24, 25, 26 in action. Okay, all that study you have done, now we start to apply here. And in our learning, one thing we learned, always catch the what? The verb. First catch the verb and then from there catch the subject of the sentence. So that will form your main sentence. And then you will see there are a few subordinate clauses. If there is a main verb, if there are 2 main verbs, 2 subjects, you will get 2 main sentences. But here you are seeing many subordinate clauses. There is therefore a main clause. So, the main sentence is, main verb is grahaya masa. Grahaya masa. Grah is 9th conjugation root. It's a lit prayoga, aorist, and it is a periphrastic perfect lit. So many of you have not seen. Don't worry, you can note it in the book. Someday when you go back, it will make sense. So, grahaya masa, it is grah plus nich plus lit. And you get grahi, and being periphrastic perfect, it is grahi plus am plus asa. Grahaya masa. What does it mean? Made them understand. Okay. Grah means to understand. When you put the nich, you get a causal sense. Made them understand. So somebody made somebody understand, correct? So we have a subject. Who is the subject of the sentence? So as we move forward in Bhashyam, from your own insight, whatever you have studied, try to just take a pencil and mark at least the nominative case, the accusative case and so on. At least those if you can mark, the gender if you can mark, the verb if you can try to identify, some one round of familiarization when you do, this session will be extremely useful. And so, sa Bhagavan grahaya masa. So that Lord Bhagavan made them understand. So made them understand what? We have to look for second case, isn't it? And you have here second case, pravritti lakshanam dharmam vedoktam. The Lord made them understand dharma, which is vedoktam, vedena uktam, tritiya tatpurusha samasa, which is vedena uktam, dharma which is taught by the Veda. What dharma is taught by the Veda? Pravritti lakshanam dharmam vedoktam grahaya masa. Lord made them understand the dharma which is of the nature of pravritti. Pravritti means, a life which engages you in activities. And engaging with the world, engaging with karma. Pravritti lakshanam dharma. Pravritti lakshanam dharma. So all these three words are accusative singular. Vedoktam, pravritti lakshanam, dharmam. And therefore, obviously, the dharma is being explained by the word pravritti lakshanam. So I am also teaching you how to read the Bhashyam, okay? Otherwise I can just give the explanation and move. Then what's the point? I want you to more or less see how the sentence opens up for you. So, pravritti lakshanam dharma is a samasa. Pravritti lakshanam, wherever two words are there, there is a compound. So, pravrittihi lakshanam yasya. Dharma which is characterized by pravritti. Pravrittihi lakshanam yasya. Tat pravritti lakshanam dharma. What is dharma? Dharma is that which is characterized by pravritti. And the other compound word vedoktam is vedena uktam. Told by the Veda. What is told by the Veda? This pravritti lakshanam dharma was told by the Veda. And Sa Bhagavan made them understand this pravritti lakshanam dharma. So immediately your question will be, made whom understand? Made whom understand pravritti lakshanam dharma? And so you have another set of words. Marichadin prajapatin agre srishtva. So having created, sraj is to create, plus twa pratyaya is having created. Having created agre. Agre is a indeclinable word meaning before. Having created before. Before what? Srishtehe prak. Before creation. Agre refers to before creation. So Lord, what did Bhagavan do? The Lord, having created Marichi, etc., who were rulers. Prajapati means ruler. So what did Bhagavan do, Let's just understand what he did, okay? Before he made the creation, he created these rulers. Rulers. Who are these rulers? Prajapati. Wait, why is one ruler is enough? No. What do you mean? Marichi Adi means what? Marichi, Adi means etc. Who are the other rulers? Marichi, Daksha, Manu. Like that, there were many, many rulers. Because creation is not for just 100 years or 1,000 years or 10,000 years or 100,000 years. It is Manvantara. Manvantara is 43 lakhs 20,000 years is one Manvantara. 43 lakhs 20,000 years is counted as one Manvantara. And we have 14 Manvantaras. So 43 lakhs 20,000 years into 14. Don't try, okay? This is all for your homework. You do whatever you want with it. Idea is, lot of Prajapatis were created. Many rulers were created because it's infinite time flow of this universe. We can't fathom how vast, that how they saw time and the rulership and so on. Oh well. So Bhagavan created all of them. Why did he created them? Because idam jagat srishtva. We have one more past participle, twa. That Lord, having created this world, idam jagat srishtva, having created this world, then what happened? You create something, you must also have the capacity to sustain. Otherwise what will happen? You create a company, 2 months later company closes down. What's the point in creating, right? When you create, you must recognize you've got to sustain it. Therefore, tasya cha sthitim chikirshuhu. Lord Bhagavan, having created this world, chikirshuhu, desiring to have the sustenance, sthiti, having the desire to sustain that, tasya sthitim chikirshuhu. Lord desiring to sustain the world, having created the world, desiring to sustain the world, what did he do? He created Marichyadi Prajapati. After creating this Prajapati, then what did he do? What did he do? He made them understand Pravritti Lakshanam Dharma. He equipped them, he empowered them, he gave them knowledge so they understand how the universe is going to run with the help of laws, with the help of dharma. What is that one thing that will hold the fabric of the universe together? That one thing is dharma. And that dharma, he made the Prajapati understand. You understand? He made Prajapati understand what is Pravritti Lakshanam Dharma. So, the sentence, Sa Bhagavan Srishtva idam jagat tasya cha sthitim chikirshuhu. Chikirshuhu means kartum ichchuhu. This is san pratyaya, kr plus san. Desiring to sustain that universe, having created Marichyadi rulers, he made them understand Vedokta Dharma, which is Pravritti Lakshanam. Then what did he do? I'll just complete this concept. Then what did he do? Tataha anyancha.
Tataha anyancha
Sanaka sanandanadin utpadya.
Sanaka sanandanadin utpadya
Nivritti lakshanam dharmam.
निवृत्तिलक्षणं धर्मम्
ज्ञानवैराग्यलक्षणम्
ज्ञानवैराग्यलक्षणम्
ग्राहयामास
ग्राहयामास
tataha, thereafter, so tataha means thereafter. After that, what did he do? There emerged utpadya, utta plus pad plus nich plus lyap, okay, ut plus pad plus nich plus lyap, having given rise to others. Who are these others? We mean other than Marichyadi Prajapatin. Other than them, having given rise to who? Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, Sanat Kumara. 2 names are given, 2 are missing. He put etc. Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, Sanat Kumara. So, having given rise to these 4, Grahayamasa, he made them also understand. Understand what? Nivritti Lakshanam Dharma. Nivritti Lakshana means a dharma which is non-engaging in the order of the creation. It is not, it's a non-engaging karma in the creation. Characterized by what? It is characterized by Jnana Vairagya Lakshanam. This dharma is characterized by knowledge and dispassion. So he created 2 types of people, in other words. One that engage in the world to keep the world moving forward, and the other type of souls were that were not interested. They were dispassionate from the world. So this is called Nivritti Lakshanam Dharma. Therefore, what are you saying? What is there in this Veda? What is this revelation? Revelation of the Veda is this. There are 2 types of dharma. Pravritti Lakshanam and Nivritti Lakshanam Dharma. And that sentence he says, and that topic closes there. Dvividhaha hi
द्विविधः हि
वेदोक्तः धर्मः
वेदोक्तः धर्मः
प्रवृत्तिलक्षणः
प्रवृत्तिलक्षणः
निवृत्तिलक्षणश्च
निवृत्तिलक्षणश्च
हि indeed द्विविधः dharmaha. Dharma is 2 types. Who told you that? Vedoktaha, Vedena uktaha. It is told by the Veda that dharma is 2 types. One is pravritti lakshanaha, characterized by pravritti. Pravrittihi lakshanam yasya. Okay? Saha dharmaha. The other is what? Nivrittihi lakshanam yasya. That which is characterized by nivritti. Cha. These are the 2 types of dharma. One, he made the Marichyadin Prajapatin Grahayamasa, and Nivritti Lakshanam Dharma he made Sanakadin, Anyan Sanakadin Nivritti Lakshanam Dharmam Grahayamasa. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।